Hi friends, I'm Scott from Sharkey's Greenhouses and Beat Your Neighbor Fertilizer, and today we're talking about one of our fan favorites, and that is Portulaca, which is also known as Moss Rose, which is also known as Purslane. So 3 names for all the same type of plant. And this is a customer favorite of ours because we're in the north woods of Wisconsin, and a lot of our customers have cabins, and they're like, Scott, what can I put in my cabin that's gonna get very little care? And you know, I'm a daily care kind of guy, but there are some options, and Portulaca is certainly one of those that can handle being abused a little bit more than more of your normal bedding plants or flowers. So Portulaca is one to consider that it can go dry, it doesn't need to be watered nearly as much, and the care is just a much lower rate of care. So let's talk about that. So the watering, it does not need nearly as much water as other bedding plants, and you know, it's almost like a succulent where these leaves are very fat and they have a lot of moisture in there, and it stores that moisture. So those leaves have that moisture in there, so they can handle going drier. Not that they can go bone dry, they're not a cactus, but when it comes to watering care for types of flowers, this is a great one. It can just handle going much more dry. And you know, a lot of our customers, they're only coming up once a week on the weekends, so they're only watering their Portulaca once a week, and they have great success. So it can work in some of those areas that, you know, they're just going to get a little less care than what they normally should be. Now, as far as cleaning them up and deadheading them, you know, honestly, I don't do much of the deadheading, but if you really want to go through and take off the spent bloom, you know, that go ahead and pull them off, but you know that there's usually brand new buds sitting right next to that. So, you know, for our big planter here, we usually just let it go. But if you really want to go through and clean them up, go ahead. As far as fertilizing, go ahead and fertilize once a week with the Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. That keeps those blooms popping, and they will, you can see this container has blooms all over. It's getting fertilized at least once a week, and that makes it beautiful. Now, something you really do need to know about Portulaca, it needs full sun, and these blooms will open and close with that sun. So in the morning, they're closed up, and they won't open up until it's nice and sunny in the morning. And that's also something to remember, that they close up at night. So if you're a working class person and maybe you don't get home till a little bit later, you know, maybe Portulaca is not for you, because they'll probably put themselves to bed before you even get home. So they will close up when it's overcast. So that's something to know, is yeah, on those overcast days or those cloudy days, they won't even open up. But they do need that full sunshine. That is a requirement for the Portulaca. Now, there are quite a few different varieties of Portulaca. So I have, in this container right here, we have a couple mixes. And you can tell, even in the leaves are different. So the bedding plant type has this kind of real pointed leaf. It's almost a little spiky. And the Portulaca that we put in our hanging baskets, they have these great big fat round leaves. They almost look like a Christmas cactus. And it's fine to mix them. But you do need to be careful mixing Portulaca with other types of flowers. Portulaca essentially is still going to be a very low growing type of flower. So we don't want to mix this with something that's really aggressive, like a super petunia, that's something that's going to just overtake it, because it will. Portulaca is also slow growing. It takes a while for it to get going. So it will not be able to keep up with other aggressive types of flowers. It's best just to put them together by themselves. They'll perform beautifully. Hey, if you're liking our videos, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and follow us on Facebook. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of how-to videos there. And then hop on over to our BeatYourNeighbor.com website, where we have our blog articles and tips and tricks, and of course our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. And that's all over at BeatYourNeighbor.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.